Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. It's Karen Fleshman, and I've been hearing a lot of commentary about people really struggling at this time. And I just wanted to hop on quickly for a live to share a little bit about how I'm harnessing the energy and the clarity of this time in the hope that it will be useful to you. So please, if you're on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on YouTube, join in this live because I'd love to hear from you how you are doing and to offer what I am doing at this time to best harness this energy. And in the words of Harvey Milk, who was the first openly gay elected official in the United States, he said he always introduced himself as, "I am Harvey Milk, and I am here to recruit you." So I am Karen Fleshman, and I am here to recruit you to join in a beautiful movement to change this country, to make it uphold its promise of what it is supposed to be, a space of freedom and safety for all people. So, my first word about uh, how to harness the energy of this time is to mind our own energy. Okay. If we are fearful and if we are freaking out, it affects other people's energy. We are bringing that into every space that we come to. So I encourage us all to calm our nervous system, and I know it's hard at this time when, especially for survivors, uh, there's so much to be scared about, and there's very real um, deportations and all kinds of terrible things that are happening. But we need to be mindful of the energy that we bring and to do what we can to calm our nervous system. So, if that for you is deep breathing, meditation, spiritual activities, cultural activities, everything we can do to ground and center ourselves is extremely important. Then a major way to help us in that is by selecting our news sources very carefully. I think a lot of us are um, on social media scrolling or listening to television, etc. And there's so much fear mongering being disseminated by these news sources, and we start to get very reactive because there's so much bad news coming at us. I would suggest instead getting some trustworthy news sources, some Substacks, some newsletters that you trust and that is aggregating the news. Because again, like the mainstream news sources or New York Times, etc., they're also not covering everything. They're trying to frame things in a certain way. So this is a time to and I'll be happy to share if you DM me. I'll be happy to share the news sources that I am looking at this time, so that I'm not constantly in that react mode. Um, then I would urge you to find a political home. Okay, this is a time when we need political education. This is a time when we need to listen to the people who have been involved in movements for a very long time. Okay, they have a vision that they are working toward, and it's important that we not start anew with something new, but that we come and support them. So, two organizations that I highly recommend turning to if you don't have a political home. And what is a political home? It's a place for studying politics. It's a place for gaining an understanding of the history that sets us up for the current context and what we can do in the near, medium, and long term to build our strength and to turn things around. That is what a political home is. So, two organizations that I highly recommend at this time are Working Families Party. They have been having weekly mass calls. So the Working Families Party is a new party of, as it says, working families. It's multicultural, multiracial, lots of unions, and lots of people who are involved in fighting for immigrants' rights, in civil rights, in Black Lives Matter, in LGBTQ movements, etc. They are all part of the Working Families Party organization. And so when they have these mass calls, not only do we get political education about the time that we are in, as well as studying what past movements have done, but we also hear from the leaders, both elected officials and movement leaders, about what they are doing on the ground right now. So it's a great fora for you to be able to learn and feel connected because we don't need to reinvent the wheel here. We need to come in behind the people who have been doing this work for a long time. Okay. Find a political home. So, Working Families Party is a great one. Another great one, specifically for white people, is Showing Up for Racial Justice. Similarly, they have many opportunities for us to learn and study and plan actions together. There's going to be a big one on February 1st across the country. So, through Showing Up for Racial Justice, you can connect as a white person with other white people who are struggling at this time for racial justice. So I highly recommend those two organizations. And then expand and take up space locally. Okay. The place where we can have the most impact is at our local school board, at our local city council, talking with our mayor, with our police department, etc. It's there's a lot going on all over the country, and it's important for us to focus on our local environment and connecting with other people, other like-minded people at our local level. This is how we build the power to change what's going on nationally. It starts locally and then up into our states. So the more you show up, the more you will find like-minded people and the greater that we build our collective, our community, the bigger impact we can have. If you identify as a woman, I invite you to join the Interracial Sisterhood online community, where we're also a form of political education and building community and connecting with like-minded women all across the country to build political power at this time. So, this is also really important that we reach out to our friends. So many people, we're in the middle of a loneliness epidemic, and especially our friends in marginalized identities, trans people, um, anyone who feels under threat right now, DEI professionals. Check in on them, reach out to them. How can you support them? How can you uplift them? How can you protect them? What do they need right now? This is very, very, very important to build that sense of connection. And I urge us to get off of social media and into real life connection, meeting up for coffee, going for a walk. Uh, Being together in person is very important. We've got part of our challenge is that we're so many of our connections are mediated. Get together in person, or if you can't get by person, get in touch by phone. Um, and I've been thinking about my own journey right now. Like at times, I'm like, why? Why do I have to be alive right now? Like this is such a challenging time and, you know, yeah, basically that. Why am I alive right now? And I was listening to Dr. King's mountaintop speech, the speech he gave to the, garbage workers, um, the night before he was assassinated. And in that speech, he talks about, like, some people ask me, you know, do I wish I was born in another time? Like, why? And he says that he is glad that he is alive right now in this time of awakening. Okay. And that really gave me so much hope and courage that this is a time of great clarity. Okay. This is a time when everyone is being exposed. When we saw that inauguration and who was sitting in the front row, like who this system actually serves, and how everybody else was literally not invited. Everybody else was left out in the cold. Well, that's you, me, that is 99% of the people in this country are left out in the cold, okay? And this is a time for us to stop believing the lies and the hatred that the people that this system serves feed us in order to distract us, in order to make us divide and fight against each other for the crumbs, instead of realizing we have so much in common, and to come together to build what Dr. King said we need to build: beloved community where all people are welcome. And from that beloved community, rooted in the values of love and compassion, that is where we can all find acceptance, we can all find belonging, and we can find the strength to create a society where we can all thrive. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have thoughts on what I had to say, please let me know. I'm grateful to you. I'm going to try to do more of these lives, so that we can connect with each other. And I will also drop the information for Working Families Surge and the, Interracial Sisterhood Coalition. And as I said, DM me if you want to know what reliable news sources I am depending on. Thanks for tuning in, and see you soon. Bye.